Hey guys, this is going to be a little bit of a different kind of video today. Um, you know, I was able to I was given the opportunity to do an assignment for school that related to something that hits very close to home for me with stress, anxiety, depression, mental health issues. I've had those, and I honestly continue to have those. It doesn't help that the source of this of my stress and everything is all around me. But the one thing I've noticed, and people say it all the time, that you know, you need to. I've heard so many parents say that video games and stuff like that will rot your brain and not help you with stress or anything like that. Whereas you think about it, most gamers, the reason they game is not always for profit. It's just because they want to have something to de-stress, take them away from the hardships of life, the stuff that makes them doubt what they do or if they're good enough for anything. I mean, like me, I I doubt whether I can do anything most of the time. That's honestly why I watch videos. That's why I play games. It's an escape, but it's a de-stress from my life. I know people have had, I've known people that have had pretty horrible lives, but even so, mine not even being as bad as theirs is still a lot. And I'll say this because, I was re-diagnosed with autism. And you guys know that from one of my earlier videos when we were doing um, the openings. But I was re-diagnosed at 19 years old. So I'm still relearning how everything works for me. Now it doesn't help that my family, or most of my family, still has not learned with me. And some of them think that very valid reasons to me are excuses. But it's one of those things where that becomes very stressful on a kid, on a man, on anyone. And it doesn't really help me see the light in the world. I've never really, honestly, never really seen the light of this world. I've only ever really seen the darkness that it housed. I think I'm getting better at it, but it's taken a long time. And some people don't understand that it can take a long time for something to get better or something to be remembered or whatever. Not everyone has the perfect mind to be able to do all this stuff. And I say this because you look at mental health. Well, mental health is normally categorized into depression, anxiety, and stress. Now, stress can come from anywhere, whether it's school, family, work, but it's something that can also be it can also be or come from yourself too. If you stress yourself out, just like in um, Thomas Frank's video, um, talking about being burnt out. Too much stress can burn you out, and then you can't do anything else. And that's honestly, like I was saying earlier, it's like I found this right, right here. Gaming produces a release of dopamine, the happy hormone which will make you feel good and help you cope with the stresses of everyday life. So it's it's something that most people don't think about, especially the older generation. They grew up without the access to technology like we have. We've got another way to de-stress or or help with our mental health that they didn't have, which means they don't understand why we do this. And to them it's all just excuses. But this is how we've grown up. This is how we've dealt. This is how we've learned to de-stress, not burn out. It's helped us in other ways that they will probably never understand. And I looked it up again for mental health. Gaming, when used positively, can be a really helpful way to look after your mental health. This is because it can give us a space to unwind, relax, and take time out of the pressures of our life, just like reading can and going for a walk. You'll see people go for walks, read, game. It's all what helps us get rid of that stress, depression, anxiety. It helps us through it. And being able to get through stuff like this is pretty much what it means to help your mental health. And it's what not everyone realizes. Is not everyone realizes how helpful it can be. But even on this website, it says here, having a good mental health doesn't necessarily mean being happy or successful all the time. That is true. Because normally if our mental health is good, we could be happy. We could just be having fun. Because having fun is also a part of this that that that's good for us. Having fun. That's why they say have a good work-life balance. If you do too much work and not much fun in your life, you will burn out because you're not giving your body and your mind the good amount of time to de-stress. And and not be so anxious. And another thing it says right after that, most people feel depressed, lonely, or anxious now and then, but those with good mental health can take these feelings in stride and overcome them. Now, yes, that is very true. It is something that most people can do. But it's the number of people that can't. Now, I'm not saying that they're not trying or they've given up. No, I'm one of those people. I have been trying to, as it says here, overcome those feelings of depression, loneliness, anxiety, stress. But it's not always as hard as some people, or as easy as some people make it out to seem. Speaking from personal experience, it honestly hasn't. Now, some people hasn't have an easier time. Some people have more support than say I do. Because honestly, and I'll say this out of complete confidence in myself, it does not help that I felt pushed away by my family for so long that I've started to push them away myself. It does not help. And, that's why, I always believe in true family, not blood family. Yes, blood will come and go. We'll see them at reunions, we'll see them at celebrations. They'll be here, then they'll be gone. But true family sticks with you through all of it. Even if they're not there, they're still with you in spirit. And that's more than I can say for even my blood family. I will always love my family. But to me, true family is more important. They help you through a lot more than people think. Shoot, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. But back onto the topic. When we talk about mental health, we also talk about mental disorders. Um, and it says here, evidence has shown that mental disorders, especially especially depressive disorders, are strongly linked to the occurrence and course of many chronic diseases including diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular disease, asthma, and obesity, and many risk behaviors for chronic disease such as physical inactivity, smoking, excessive drinking, and insufficient sleep. In other words, if your mental health is poor, you may be greater risk for disease or poor physical health. And I can agree with that because I've seen it in myself firsthand. I have insomnia. I don't get much sleep at night. During the week, I might get 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours of sleep. But even my brother gets maybe four, or no, he probably gets more now than he used to. But, it's mental health that can cause so much if not helped. But it's the one thing that you can't always get away from. I wish every day that I could get away from the stress I have, from the anxiety I have, from the depression I have. But I also know that I have to stick through it so I can. Now, does it make it harder that I'm around it all the time? Absolutely. But it can get better over time. They say time heals all. I don't know if that's completely true, but I know in a sense it can. And honestly, I hope it will for me too. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna end this here. Have a wonderful rest of your guys' weekend, and make sure to spend time on yourself for the rest of this year and for the years to come. I'll put links to the information that I found in my bio so that you guys can look this up too. And on that note, bye!